Hello everyone, welcome back to the Java course 2023. In this video, we are going to discuss about array concept in Java. So suppose you want to store numbers from 1 to 100. So how will you store it? So till now, what you have learned is to store the any element or any object in a variable, right? So you will say that we will store it in variable. But creating 100 variables to store 100 different numbers is definitely not a good thing because it is a very tedious task, right? Suppose you want to store 1000, suppose you want to store million number, then that's definitely not a good approach. So the Java programming language provides you a better and efficient approach to solve this problem, and it provides a data structure to store the large number of or collection of elements, which is array. So basically array is a index based collection of elements or objects. Okay, index based means the elements that are stored at have a particular index. Okay, you can access them directly by index. So we will see how can we create the array and how can we access the array, how can we use to insert the elements in the array. And also one more thing, array is of the fixed length. Okay, so this is one again another property of the array. So let's try to create array. So to create array, first we need to define what type of element do we need to store in the array. Okay, so I said we need to store 1 to 100 variables, or maybe these are integers type. So integer type can be written as int. Okay, and then you have to put square brackets so that it represents that this is an integer array. Now next we have to write the name of the array. So we write the name of the array as arr, suppose. Then to create an actual array, we have to create an object of an array. Okay, because in Java array is an object. Okay, so how do we create an object? We create object by using the new keyword. So we write new and then we write again the data type, then square bracket, and in the square bracket we define or we pass on the length of the array. So suppose I want to create an array of 5 elements. So this is how we create the array. So this is the first way we can create array. So first way. Okay, now in this array we have created an object that can store 5 elements. Now the array have index based approach. So in index based approach, the index starts from 0. So the first element you insert in the array goes to the or receives the index 0. Second element goes to index 1, third to index 2, fourth to index 3, and fifth to index 4. Okay, so this means that the maximum index in an array is the length of the array, that is 5 that you defined, minus 1. Okay, so remember that. Next thing is, let me increase the font size so you can easily see it. Okay, so the next is how do we insert into the array. So the first way is to insert the element directly using the index. Okay, so we can do that arr of 0. This means that we are trying to insert an element at the position index or at the index 0. Okay, so I want to insert 21 here. Okay, at index 1 I want to insert 43. Okay, at index 2 I want to insert 10. At index 3 I want to insert 50. And at index 4 I want to insert 75. Okay, now we have inserted 5 elements. Now you cannot store more than 5 elements because array has the capacity of 5 elements because we have defined 5 for it. If we have defined 50, then we can write up to 50 elements or even less. It depends on us. Now another thing, how do we know that at which index which array is present? sorry, in at which index which element is present. Okay, so we can just say s out, and then we can access the element by writing arr of 0, like that. It's as simple as that, and you just have to copy paste it and write here 1 2 3 and 4. So this way you can access the elements. So using index you have inserted the element, and using index you are accessing the elements. Okay, now let's run the enter, see what is coming up. So we are getting 21, 43, 10, 50 and 75. That's perfect. But the problem here is, if we have hundreds of elements, if we have lot of number of elements, we can't do this way, or we can't print the element this way. So there needs to be some efficient approach. Okay, so the efficient approach is of course the loop. So let's see how we can do using the loops. Let me comment it out. We can use a for loop to take the input, and we can take a for loop to print the output. So let's see how to take input. So input, so you will see that when we are using the array structure, we are mostly using for loop. So to give input, how we use for loop, let's see. We start from index 1, so we initialize a counter variable from index 0, because arrays index start from 0. Then we have to move till array.length. Okay, array.length. Why array.length? So that I can be equal to 4, right? If you consider this array that we have constructed it, here I can be equal to the index 4, but I cannot be equal to index 5, right? And our array length is 5, so it should be less than 5. Less than 5 is 4, which is perfect. So basically our max index is length minus 1. That's why we are going till length, not even to the length, and then we just increment I by 1. Now how do we take input? So in the previous video we have discussed about the scanner class for taking input. So we can take for every index. So I just have to say I represents arr, first arr, then in the index pass I. So this counter variable is acting as our will act as a index for our input for our array, and then we have to write, okay, before that we have to use a scanner. So let's take scanner new scanner system.in. Now we can easily take input. Now this data type of our input is integer, so we take next int. Okay, and then we close it. Okay, now how do we print the array? Okay, so print array using for loop. Okay, so again the same way we have to write the for loop. Int I equal to 0, I less than arr dot length, and then I plus plus, and then in the sysout again the same way we have to write arr of I. I acts as a index for the R array, right? Now if we try to print it, let's print it. Okay, so first thing is we need to provide some input. So I provide 21, 43, 50, 12 and 100. So 5 elements done. Now when we click on enter, we are getting the 5 elements are getting printed. So it's perfect. There is one more style of for loop which is known as enhanced for loop, which is used to print the array. So let's see about that. So it's known as enhanced. It's basically used for the iterable objects. Iterable objects mean which we can iterate, which we can access. Okay, so iterable object means like array, array list, or stack, queue, anything. Okay, we will learn about other data structures in later in the series, but for now regarding array we can use for enhanced for loop. So how enhanced for loop works? First we write for, then we specify which type of data we have inside the array. So we have int type of data, and we create a variable I, then we put a colon, and then we specify the name of the array. So we specify the name of the array, and then we have to print I. Now here I is not an index. Here I represents element. Okay, so if we print I, we will not get the index of the array. We will get the element of the array. Okay, so if I print this, let me comment it out. So if I print it, you see that, okay, again we have to put the input. So we go by simple 1 2 3 4 5, and you see 1 2 3 4 5, we are getting the elements of the array. So this is how another style in which we can write the, or we can print the array. If you want a index based approach, you can use a external variable, but this is a efficient approach in case you just need to access the elements, that's all. So this is the concept of array. Another way we can create array, second way. Okay, so second way, the declaration part is simple. First you define the data type, then square brackets, then give a space, then write the identifier. Now let's put the identifier as ABC for now. Okay, or maybe we can write some meaningful name like names. We have an array variable called names. Now we can define or hard code array like this. Okay, using curly braces. Inside it we have to write some names. So I write Ajay, I write Vidya. Okay, oh wait, I'm writing string, that's wrong. Okay, we can define string array also. So let's write string array only, that's fine. So I write Ajay, I write Vidya, I can write. Okay, so suppose these four names are there. Now this is also a way to define the array, but remember that in this way, once you define the array, okay, you cannot change it, right? You cannot change this array. Its length becomes the fix as the number of elements you defined in it. So we have defined four names, four elements, so the size of the names is fixed at 4. Now you cannot increase the size. So we normally don't use this array much because it's not much useful for our day-to-day or applications in enterprise scale, or even during the problem solving. If you will see that these types of array we don't use, more probably we use this type of array. Okay, where we pass where we pass a custom length. Okay, and one more thing, as you have seen right now, we can know the length of the array using the length function. So it just gives you the length function. So if I just run, wait, so this is a length function we can use. Okay, so these are the basic concepts of the array that you must know, and it will be useful for you to solve any problem, any coding problem that you do for the array. Okay, I hope you understand. If you understand it, please subscribe the channel, share the video with the like-minded people who want to understand about the concept of array in Java, and you can write your suggestion whether you understand or not in the comments below. So that's all for this video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.